Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today is day 4 of our DSA playlist in Python, and the topic that we are going to discuss today is another one of the biggest topic that will be used anywhere and everywhere you will be solving any question, right? Like most of the question or wherever you want to iterate or perform something in a for for more than one times you will be using loops there. Okay, so today we will be discussing loops, and in Python what kind of loops are there, right? So in Python we have two types of loops. One is for loop, the other one is while loop. Okay, the for loop in Python is quite easy to interpret. like if you are using Java or any other language, you will have to go through like this: int I is equals to 0 and all. So this is not the way you declare a for loop in Python. The way we declare the for loop in Python is you will be using range. Okay, so I'll show you how to use the for loop in Python. There are quite a few ways, like two or three ways are there. I'll show all of them one by one. So let's say I want to print 1 to 10. Okay, 1 to 10, and I want to use the iterator as I. So how do I use that, and how do I print from 1 to 10? So I will use for I in range of, let this range, right? It takes the value one less. Okay, let's say I want to find the count from this value from 1 to 10, right? So I will start the iterator from 1, and it will, I have to write 11 here so that it will go till 10. Okay, and if you do not give the start point, okay, so the default value will be 0. So let's say if I write here 11 only, then the value will be printed, it will be starting from 0. And if I want to print the values from 1, or I want to start the count from 1, then I will have to specify the starting point. Okay, and the end point will go less than one value, right? So this is one of the way of defining a for loop. In this also, once you define a for loop, you will get an indentation. Okay, when you hit enter, there will be a tab space before moving forward, and then you can print or perform any task that you are required to do. Okay, so this is one way of declaring a for loop. Now let's say that you have an array or string. Okay, let's say my name is Ankita, right? So I want to print all the characters of my name one by one. So what I will do, what I can do is we get the preference of iterating on this string. Okay, and every character will be uh, like every character will be extracted using in. Okay, so what I will do, let's say I get the character using ch. So for ch in s, now this s is the string, right? So when I print this ch, so what I will get, I will get a n k I t a. Okay, I will be getting all of these in like new line. In order to get the values in the same line, I will have to specify print ch and is equals to. If you want to give space in the equals to, after the equals to, in the double inverted commas, you need to give a space. Otherwise, just give double single quotes. In Python, right? When you are trying to print anything, the default way is everything will be printed in a new line. Okay. In order to print in the same line, we use end is equals to and whatever. So this will mean that you want to end the every, like whatever you are printed, end it with a, let's say, semicolon or a space, whatever like you want to print it with. So today we came to know that the print, one specific thing, that if we are using print, then you will get everything in different line. Okay, And if you want to print everything in a same line, then what we will do, we will simply write whatever we are printing with end is equals to, and whatever delimiter we want to give or whatever character we want to insert in between, that we can give. Okay, so this is how we use in. Okay, in the same way we can iterate on list also. Let's say I have an array of numbers, arr is equals to 1 2 3. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to print all these elements in different lines. Okay, so what I will do here, for I in arr, and I will print I. So what this will do, it will start iterating on this array and it will print all the values on each and every index, right? So this is like, instead of using indexing and all, you can directly access the elements of the array or the characters in a string. So this kind of makes our work easy. And if you want to use indexing or like numbering, so you can use range function and it will give you the like functionality of iterating using a iterator, right? I as a iterator. So the other loop that we have here is while loop. Now while loop, what happens in while loop, we have three important statements that will be basis of the implementation of while loop. Like in for loop, what we were doing, we were using I. Okay, and it was like declared and it was getting updated, right? One, and one more feature of step is like we are having a start point, we have an end point, and we have a step also. Means this is start, end, and step. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are defining or initializing the I with, let's say, 1. Okay, and we are trying to go till 10 only, so I will give here 11. And let's say I want to update the value of I by 2 values. Okay, means after 1 I want to print 3, or let's say I want to print 4. Okay, so I am adding 3 every time. Okay, after 4 I want to print 7, after 7 I will print 10. So I will give a step value here, so that the value will be increased by that value every time. Now this is the means this is the feature of range function here. Okay, that you can provide a start point, you can provide an end point, and you can provide a like step value. And let's say you want to print in reverse. Okay, using this, so what will happen, let's say you want to print from 10 to 1 only in the reverse way. So how we will do, here we are going in reverse order, right? So our step will become negative. And how we will move, for I in range 10, we want to print in 1, right? And since this value will go, means less than, means 1 less, right? So I will have to give 0 here, then only it will go till 1, right? And the value will be negative. I want to print 10 9 like this, right? So our step value will be negative. I will give her here -1, and then what we will do, we will simply print I here. So this is how we will use for loop to print in reverse order. You can try it out in your compiler so that you can get a good idea of how to use for loop in Python. Okay, now let's continue with while loop. Okay, so as I was saying that we will have three important statements. Like in the for loop, we were having a starting or initializing point, then we were having an end point, and we had a step, right, or updation of the value. So in the while loop also, we will initialize the value before while loop. Okay, let's say I want to print from 0 to 5. Okay, so I will initialize I with 0, and now our while. Okay, this will take condition here. So what I will do, I is less than equals to 5. Okay. Now in this also, like the if else and the for loop, once we write the condition and hit enter, we will get a simple indentation. Okay, everything will move one tab space front. So let's say if this is one tab space, so if I am trying to print I here, so it will be like this. And now if I leave this like this, okay, so it will be stuck in a infinite loop, because what is happening, I am keeping initializing I with 0, and I is always less than equals to 5, right? And then what is happening, I am not making any updations in the value, so it will go on printing 0 0 0 because there is no changes in the value. So to avoid this like infinite error, what I will do here, I will increment the value so that we can reach the required condition and we can print whatever we want to print. So what I will get here, 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is our while loop. Now we will run this some examples on the online compiler, and we will see a few questions regarding while loop and if condition in the for in the upcoming part. Okay, so now let's run this small examples on the compiler first, then we will move forward. So first what we will do, we will try running a few for loop examples. Okay, so first we will have for loop for I range. First I will use start point and end point and step also. Okay, so I will start from 1 to 11, and let's say our step value is 2. Now I will print. So we can see that it is starting from 1 and continuing till like 9, right? It will not go till 11 because it means the range will always count the values till 1, means n minus 1. Okay, so if I have, let's say, 9 here, then it will go till 7 only, right? As we see here, we have it will go till 7 only. Now what I will do, I will remove this step. Okay, and then we will see how much it is printed. 1 to 11 print 5. Let's run it. So we are getting till 10, right? Now what we will do, we will use in. Okay, for I will directly declare string here only, and let's say I want to print the letter of my word in the same line separated by commas. Okay, so I will print I and comma. Okay, now let's try to run it. So you can see that all the characters are, that means, in the same line, and they are ending with comma, right? The last one is also ending with comma. If I give here, I will remove the comma and there is no space also, then it will look like this normal. Okay, so this is how you can like print in the same line, and this is how you can implement in also. We will use one more example here. For I will declare the list here only. 3 print I. Let's try to run it too. All the values are printed in the array, right? So now we will see the implementation of while loop. Okay, while n is less than equals to 10, let's say I want to print the multiplication table of 2. Okay, so what I will do, I will write I is equals to 2 and n is equals to 1. uh, you can see here that I can declare more than one values in the same line. Okay, so this is the feature in like this is uh, to make the program more concise. You can declare more than one variables in the same line, and the values will be separated by comma one by one. Okay, so here what I'm doing, the one is getting initialized by 2. Okay, and 2 this n is getting initialized by 1. Now let's try to print the multiplication table. I multiply by n. Okay, and every time we need to increment the value of n by 1. Okay, so what we are getting here, 246. We can see that we are printing the entire multiplication table of 2, right? So this is the implementation of for loop and while loop. Now let's move forward and solve some questions. Okay, so we will be moving forward with our first question of the series, and before moving on with the question, I will be mentioning the sheet link in the description. The sheet will be containing all the questions that we will be solving coming forward in the series. Okay, and it will be containing links from like here and there, means not there will not be a single code editor like only from lead code or only from some place. It will be a mixture of code editors. You can start solving questions from there, and in order to keep a record of what you are solving, you can like copy paste the code in your GitHub with the question name, so you can keep a track of it. And now before wasting any time, let's move on to the question. So the question that we have here is sum of all divisors. Okay, so what is a divisor? Divisor is the number with which a dividend is divided. Okay, so let's say I have 4 as the number. Okay, so what are the divisors of 4? What the divisors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. Okay, so in the same way, if I can say that for 1 the divisor is 1, for 2 the divisor is 1 and 2, for 3 it is 1 and 3, for 5 we have 1 and 5, and for 6 we have 1, 2, 3 and 6. So this is the different divisors of the number. Now we know that what are actual divisors. Okay, so how to find the divisor using the code, and now how we will know that where to find the where and how to find a divisor. So here we are seeing that we are iterating on some numbers, right, from 1 to some value, let's say n, and we are dividing with every number and checking if the number is divisible or not, right? So let's say I have 4 here. Now to check if 4 is divisible by any number or not, I will have to get some condition, right? So what is the actual condition? That the remainder should be 0, right? And how do we find if a remainder is 0 or not? Means, and how to find the remainder of the number. Okay, so in the operators we saw that we can use modulus function to find the remainder. Okay, so here what we will do, we will divide 4 by, we will find the mod of 4 with any value, let's say 2. Okay, so the value of 4 mod 2 is 0, so we can we know that 2 is a divisor of 4. Now in this way only we will get divisor of each and every value. Now how to find the divisor using loop? We saw in the previous question that in order to use loop, we will be iterating from 1 to n, right? And if we want the like divisors here, I will also be iterating from 1 to any value, right? So now let's say I want the divisor of 4. Every divisor will be lying from 1 to that number only, Now we have the starting point as 1 and end point as n. Okay, so we will start iterating from I is equals to 1 to less than or equals to n, right? And after this, what we will do? We will divide and check if n mod I is equals 0 or not. If it is equals to 0, then what we will do? We will count it as a divisor. So let's say if I keep a sum, okay, sum is equals to 0. Now we have this sum is equals to 0 and I am trying to find the sum of all divisors. So the divisor of 4 is 1, 2 and 4. In order to store the sum, I need to store it every time I find the condition true. And how do I find the sum? This I, this I that we have here, every time the condition becomes true, we add it to our sum. Okay, so if our s is 0, for the first time s is initialized by 0, right? Now what we will do, we will add I here. If the condition becomes true, we add I there. So here what we will do, s is equals to s plus I. If you want to write it in shorthand way, then how we will write, s plus is equals to I. Okay, now using this question, now you are able to solve two or more than two questions, right? Multiple questions actually. Now if you see that, if you are asked a question, find sum of even numbers, or let's say find sum of n natural numbers. Before moving on with this question, that explanation, please pause this video and solve this question so you can get an idea of how to find the sum of all the divisors. Okay, so you can try out these both questions, find the sum of n natural number and then find the sum of even numbers. For checking the even number, you will be using a condition, right? So you will be using a loop as well as if conditional statement. Okay, so now let's move on to the question that we have here. So we are checking for divisor here, and if I am finding the divisor, I will be adding it in the sum. Now what I need to do here, I need to take that sum and print it, print this sum. Okay, now let's say I have told you here we have only n. Now if I tell you that you need to find the sum of values from 1 to 4, okay, means let's say 1 has divisor 1, 2 has 1 and 2, 3 has 1 and 3, 4 has 1, 2 and 4. Now I ask you that you need to return the sum of all of these divisors. Okay, means if I have given you n, then you need to find the sum of divisors from 1 to n. Now n here that I have is equals to 4. So you need to return the sum as 1 plus, this is 3, right? So 3 plus 4 plus 7. So the value that should be returned is 15. So this should be returned. Now we started iterating here. We were finding the prime number as this divisors. Okay, so here we know that we need to find the divisors. This is a one block of code. Now let's say you want to find the sum of each and every number. Okay, so for that what you will do, you will use one more for loop, right, which will start from I is equals to 1 and continue till 4, right, less than equals to 4. And then you will pass every number, right? Means let's say you have for loop here, right, for where we were starting I is equals to 1 to less than equals to n here, where n will be this I, right? We will be passing this I here. So what we will do here is we will be using what I can say is one will be outer loop, one will be inner loop. So we will be using nested for loop here. Okay. So one by one, what we will do? Let's say this is I. Okay. So I cannot use I again. So instead of I will declare one more variable, and this will start from 1 and continue till less than or equals to I. And now inside this we will check if I mod j is equals 0, then what we will do? We will increment the sum value by j, right? Now the question is, why am I using j here? So let's see now. Excuse me. So I have n here. Okay, n is equals to 4. So for the first time I have value as 1. Now I have I is equals to 1. This we will move inside the loop, right? Now our j is 1 and it will continue till less than equals to 1. So we will iterate for 1 only, and we will see that 1 mod 1 is equals to 0. So now our sum will become 1, right? Now what will happen? We will move out of this loop, right? The work that we have to do is done. So we will come here. Now our I will become 2. So this I is becoming 2, and j will start from again from 1, right? And it will go till 2. So j will start from 1. Now we will check if 2 mod 1 is equals to 0. Yes, it is equals to 0. So our sum will again get updated by 1, and now we will get 1 plus 1, that is 2. Again, now we can go till 2 here, right? So j value will increment and become 2. We will check if 2 mod 2 is equals to 0 or not. Yes, it is equals to 0. So 2 will get added in our sum, and now our updated value will become 4. So in this way, our nested loop will work. Every time one value will increase, means for the first step we started from 1 and continued till 1 in the j loop. Then the second time it will go from 1 to 2, then 1 to 3, then 1 to 4, and we will check for condition that it is divisible or not, and we will find the sum and return it. Okay, so this is how we will be solving this question. Now let's move on to the code editor, and we will see if this question code works or not. So let's see the code now. Now I will be explaining while coding also. Okay, let's see. We will start the loop. Okay, for I in range of 1 to n plus 1. Now we are clear about this, that why I am using n plus 1, right? Because the range will be going till n minus 1 only. So if I am giving n plus 1, then only it will go till n. Okay, now inside this we will have one j loop, and we will start from 1 to I plus 1, right? Then only it will go till I. So we have two loops here. Now I will check for the divisors. Okay, if j I mod j is equals 0, then what I will do? Means I am checking if whatever number, if I am passing 1 is divisible by 1 or not, right? So if it is divisible, then what I will do? I will increment the value by j, right? Because the divisor that we are getting from j only. So what we will do? We will increment the value by j. Now before using s or sum, we will be initializing the value. Now we have initialized the value. We are getting the sum here. Every time we will keep on adding the value, and once all the values are added, we will return the sum. Now let's try to run it. So the sample test cases are passed. Let's try to submit it. So the time limit has exceeded because we need to optimize this code. But right now, since we are on the basic stage, I will be using this for loop only. When you will be moving forward, you will learn how to optimize this code. Right now, we only need to see that this code is right or not. So this code is right for small test cases. When you will be moving forward, you will learn how to like optimize your code. Then we will see how to work on optimized code. Okay. So the like link for this question I will be mentioning in the description. You are free to like access that link, and you can solve this question, and you can solve few more question on the like online compiler, and get in touch with how to use the loops. Okay, and try to solve this question using while loop, so that you can have a free hand on changing from for loop to while loops. Okay, so we will be solving few more question in the for loop and using if condition in the upcoming videos. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to continue with me in this coding journey, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.